Welcome. If you're new, we do a live Q&A every week. Feel free to ask any of your questions in the comments. If you are catching it on the replay, feel free to throw your questions in. We'll cover them in next week's live session then. Um, for anyone who tends to catch us in the replays, Facebook has changed some settings on how long it stores saved videos. So we are loading everything now into our YouTube page. So feel free to give us a follow, Lifestyle Performance Training, to keep up with um, all of our posts and live sessions from there. That's going to be the easiest place going forward to catch up on those because the setting changes Facebook has made. Anyways, what I wanted to cover today, um, going into, I've talked about motivation quite a bit here in posts a lot, but some different definition, verbiage, and meaning has kind of stood out to me from a couple different sources lately. So I wanted to kind of get into that. And what I'm speaking to is the difference of inspiration versus motivation. So it's very common when it comes to fitness goals, health goals, or really any goal in general. People will often talk about how they struggle with losing motivation. And in reality, what we're really meaning is that we've lost our inspiration and we never had the true motivator to keep us going ever truly defined. And that's the reason why we start to struggle. The momentum and drive starts to dwindle because we don't have that true motivating factor identified for us yet. So what I mean by that, so with inspiration, inspiration is that spark or realization moment of either what you want to do or what needs to be done. So different examples of this would be, if you see, a physique of someone and you say like, I'd love to look like that. It could be something physical, maybe it's a run, a race, some sort of obstacle course or strength element competition. You say, I'd love to be able to do that. Those are aspects of inspiration. Other things similar to that would be the thing that I call kind of the oh shit moment, which is really like, oh shit, I didn't realize this got that bad. What that can often look like, it can be a doctor's visit where blood work comes back and you get a lot of bad news in regards to what that looks like and what your health status really is internally. It can be seeing ourselves through another lens for the first time, because sometimes, because we don't see the changes in us all the time because it's very gradual to us, but catching a view of ourselves in a different reflection, in a picture that someone else took from angles that we don't really get to see ourselves in, can often lead to a like, oh crap, I didn't realize this has gotten that bad. I need to do something about this. Those are the different things that we talk about. Inspiration, it inspires you to start pursuing and creating a change in your life. Motivation, on the other hand, is that deep-seated meaning or why behind what these changes are going to mean to you in your life going forward. So we need both. The inspiration kind of sparks that desire to change. The motivation is what's going to keep you going long term. So I know if you've watched a lot of these, you've probably heard me talk about identifying your why. So your motivation is that why, that deep-seated meaning of what does making these changes, what does achieving these changes mean to you. So it's one thing to say, oh crap, I didn't realize how bad I had gotten. I need to do something about this. That can be an inspiration for change, but what does making those changes really mean to you? And sometimes it takes some time to really think and assess that, because the changes required can often be challenging and difficult. If you're not working out at all, not necessarily keeping track of your eating, and just kind of, willy-nilly going about day by day on a whim, switching that to more focused, thoughtful, healthy eating, working out on a regular basis, those are challenging, struggling changes to often make. And if you don't have a deep-seated why or a meaning behind making these changes, it's going to be very difficult to keep up the pursuit. So it's important, you get your inspiration of, this is what I want to accomplish, this is what needs to be changed. You need to pair that with the why. Okay, we know what needs to be done. Now, why does it need to be done? Is it finally feeling comfortable in your body for the first time in years? Is it being able to be physically present with your family and not sitting on the sidelines because you can't keep up with the activities that they want to do? Is it being sure that you're going to live longer by avoiding the health risks associated with what blood work came back last time at the doctor? Any of those factors, the more deep-seated mind of what's going to keep you doing this, what's going to keep you going with it, is your motivation. So a lot of times we do get this confused, where we confuse inspiration for motivation, where inspiration causes us to start seeking the changes. Motivation is what's going to truly keep you on focus, on task, and going through to the end to actually get that change accomplished. So it's very important, because most of us have a tendency to just lock in on the inspiration factor, and we don't get to that long-term motivation of, like, what does it really mean to see these changes that we were inspired by. That's really the difference maker from what I've seen. I've been training and coaching people for over 23 years now. Having that deep, defined meaning why behind the changes that you're trying to make for yourselves is the difference between those who see it through and get it accomplished, and going beyond that, not only accomplish it, but sustain the change, versus those who struggle to maybe complete a 60, 90-day challenge, if they completed it all, and then kind of just revert back to old habits once that initial phase of goal pursuit is done. That's where the real struggle of dwindling or losing motivation comes from. It's because we've gotten started with only our inspiration identified and in mind, and we haven't truly identified the long-term motivation and meaning behind what do these changes really mean? What are we getting out of it? What's the defining success of this? What does it mean to accomplish the changes that we've been inspired to make? And that's the difference factor for seeing success and maintaining that success long term. Hope this helped kind of identify some things for people. If you have more to add, more questions, feel free, throw them in the comments. We'll cover them next week for anyone that has any, or if you just want to discuss more in private, reach out, private message us. We'll discuss through there if you prefer to have a conversation about it that way. Otherwise, have a great week. Remember to stay persistent in your consistent pursuit of health.